Mic check. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check.
I can hear you, but I can't hear you now.
Yeah, no, we're getting a lot more build up here.
Yeah.
I think we hit the band.
Yeah.
Snow is definitely getting thicker.
Yeah.
You can tell where the plow has been.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and the other side doesn't look like it's been paved really much at all.
Yeah. Might be because we can't really see it from our angle.
That is true.
The winter storm is here in East Texas. Can feel it and see it. Good evening and thanks for joining us on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Brennan Gurley.
And I'm Ayana Air. The weather impact alert has been issued through Tuesday morning, and we have crews stationed across the Piney Woods here to give you live updates throughout the night as temperatures continue to drop.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony and Meteorologist Joel Robinson are both here tracking this storm because that next wave will be here soon.
Yeah, you guys ever go see a rock concert and you get the opening band and they're good, right? But at the main players, right? So that was today. This morning we had the opening act. And now tonight we're going to have the big band, the big show. It's what you waited for. Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at live radar here tonight as we head into the evening hours. We're still tracking some very light drizzle across the area. We got light rain over deep East Texas. Crockett right now at 33 with light rain. Nacogdoches at 33. We are below freezing at Jacksonville and Henderson. Longview, Marshall's at 29, up at Jefferson 28. Some of these temperatures that have dropped below freezing have become problematic in terms of ice starting to accumulate on trees earlier. We've seen a lot of pictures now coming in. We'll share those with you here as the hour goes on of some tree limbs that have busted. There were several power outages reported. And we got a little bit of a lull. So there was a little bit of melting, but I want to show you what's headed our way here tonight. You can see it's starting to gather. The rain down in deep East Texas into Anderson County. We've got a mix of rain and freezing rain in Shelby County. You've got sleet out here at Waco up to Dallas and over toward Terrell. And as we widen things out here, you can see how this is kind of all coming together. It's sort of congealing into one large area. And so as we head into the evening and later tonight, we're going to see that really become a large area of sleet and freezing rain. Looking at a different form of radar because there is drizzle out there, but in some instances it's just too light for the radar to pick up. But we can see it over toward Henderson and Longview, and we're seeing it here in Tyler. The streets remain wet. You're okay right now with wet streets. It's 31 degrees, but the temperature is expected to continue to drop, and this evening at some point it'll drop to 29. When that happens, then I expect some icier roads to develop, especially after the sun sets. And we still have that north-northeast wind at 10 miles an hour. So the ice storm warning continues through Sunday at 6 p.m. for all the counties shaded in purple. We could pick up an additional ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of sleet and freezing rain tonight. Winter storm warning to our north of Interstate 20, including Gilmer and including Jefferson, and also back to the northwest toward Mineola, where we could pick up a mixture of sleet and snow, maybe in the order of 1 to 2 inches. Right now, 24 degrees at Mount Pleasant, still 34 at Lufkin. So the forecast for tonight, freezing rain here by 7 p.m., freezing rain continues at midnight, and a mixture of freezing rain and sleet becoming heavier between midnight and 4 a.m. as temperatures fall into the mid-20s. Guys, I think the worst part of this storm is yet to come. It comes in overnight tonight. That's when we'll be most at risk at losing power. That's when the roadways will become treacherous to travel on, especially Sunday morning with these temperatures in the mid-20s. Anything wet right now will be frozen by tomorrow morning. Back with a look at team coverage of our 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All righty, Brett, thank you. And we'll get to our live team coverage in a moment. But first, we're taking a look at power outage numbers from across the region.
Let's take a live look out at the Encore map. In parts of SWEPCO's service area, some communities are already dealing with power loss as conditions get worse tonight. Right now, more than 16,000 customers are without electricity, and that number could rise. Well, joining us now is Tom Trimmel, a representative with Encore, with the latest outages, restoration efforts, and what residents need to know.
And Tom, thanks for being here as we're talking what Encore is doing right now for those people watching this who are without power. What should they know about the work that's being done on their behalf right now?
You know, right now we've got quite a few people out in the Jacksonville, Rusk, Cushing area, over in ARP and Overton. We've got our full staff has been out there all day. They're going to continue to be out there this evening. We've got quite a few contractors. I know y'all have seen a lot of contract crews that we staged here over the last few days. To make sure that when we had issues like this, that we were able to bring them in as quickly as possible. And they're all down there and engaged in a lot of those outages. So we're hoping to get a lot of those folks back on as quickly as possible. We're going to continue to work through the night tonight. We'll work through this freezing rain. We'll work through the sleet. We'll work through everything to try to get the people back on as quickly and safely as we can.
Tom, and what's the fastest way for customers to report an outage or get any updates?
Oh, thank you for that question. The best way for a customer to report the outages to Encore is to go out and download the My Encore app. You can report your outage and then get updates on your outage with that app. You can text out to 66267 and report your outages that way. You can call into Encore at 888-313-4747, or you can go to the encore.com and report your outage online.
All right. And Tom, we appreciate you being there for us. And on behalf of everyone here at CBS 19, thank you to the men and women who are out there braving these cold conditions.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. And tell Brett I really don't like his analogy because I'm not a big fan of the main show.
All righty, Tom, thank you. And now let's get another check of your latest weather impact forecast with Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony.
All right, weather impact alert here as we're joined live on CBS19 for this quick update. We are seeing thunder sleet out by Palestine right now, and the storm itself is starting to move back in. It's starting to come together again, and the heaviest part of this storm is just about to begin. You can see freezing rain, sleet with temperatures just above freezing down at Nacogdoches, but we've fallen below freezing at Mineola. Gilmer now down to 27. Tyler's getting colder by the minute, down to 30 degrees. Longview, which had popped back up to 31, also seeing temperatures beginning to drop again. So as we head through the rest of the night, sleet and heavier freezing rain will move back in. We anticipate seeing some problematic roadways in the overnight hours. We also anticipate perhaps more power outages added to those totals. Coming up, we'll talk about the 7-day forecast. We'll look at a very cold forecast that is setting up for tomorrow night and again Monday night. That's ahead in just a few minutes.
Brett, thank you. And ice from this winter storm is intensifying, as Brett just mentioned, and for many people, it means a dark and cold night ahead. Power outages are quickly climbing, with Cherokee County among the hardest hit. More than 4,000 outages have already been reported there.
Our Jamie Hazard is live in Cherokee County right now. And Jamie, you spoke with Sheriff Brent Dixon earlier today, and y'all talked about the outages and how they're working to get things up and running. What are some things residents should know right now?
That's right. There are many outages in the area, especially from Rusk to Jacksonville. And then we also have many downed trees in the area as well. And Brent actually sent us over to Highway 69 Mission, where we have spoken with some of the workers here and volunteers. And, you know, they are open for people to come in and get a warm meal, which is really important in this time because it is cold out there. The conditions in Jacksonville right now are it's just pretty rainy out on those roads, and you know, you can see ice on the trees, but we got the chance to speak to Brent Dixon and learn more about what he has suggested.
So most of our trees down and outages is mainly from Jacksonville to Rusk. Both cities have been hit pretty hard, and in between we've had a lot of tree damages and outages. So far we haven't had the power stay out very long. Encore and Cherokee County Electric has been great. They've jumped on everything really quick and getting the power back up and going. If you need help getting to a warming shelter because you're out of power, contact us or your local police department. We'll make sure you get to the places you need to be. If you have pets, elderly neighbors, check on your pets. Make sure all your neighbors are taken care of and your pets are inside.
And emergency officials say crews continue working to restore service, and residents who lose power can get help reaching warming centers by contacting local authorities. And officials are also urging everyone to check up on your neighbors and bring them to shelters if they need. Live from Jacksonville, I'm Jamie Hazard.
All right, Jamie, live in Jacksonville, thank you. And we're keeping a close eye on the conditions and the impacts of ice and cold as cold temperatures continue to drop through today.
And CBS19 has reporters all across East Texas covering that dangerous cold. That's where we find our Robert De La Garza, who's joining us live from Gregg County. And Robert, what are you learning there?
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Ayana. Yeah, well, I mean, we've been out here all day driving these roads. I mean, I know they say indoors, but hey, I mean, overall throughout the morning, it was pretty manageable in the morning and afternoon. Roads were pretty slushy though and slick. Right now, if you can kind of see around me, you know, you can still see some of that ice accumulation right now. Sidewalks are pretty dry at this moment, but we know that's going to change. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to Chief Deputy Craig Harrington. We spoke with him earlier today. I know you said around 7 o'clock we're expecting a new wave of just probably freezing rain. Just tell me a little bit about what you expect coming this next hour.
Well, like I said before, we're hoping that it's just going to be sleet, kind of like what we saw this morning, but we don't know. There's still a lot of unknowns. What we do know is there is going to be an increased chance of moisture starting now, going into probably hit us full on at about 7 o'clock. We're going to see a lot more moisture than what we saw with that first round of storms this morning. With the temperature dropping, we know that anything that falls is going to stick. We're hoping for sleet, but the roads are going to get significantly worse than where they are right now.
Yeah, and I know I talked to you this morning saying that those roads were, the freeways, overpasses were just diminishing just the dangerousness of them with some of that frozen sleet coming in. Kind of manageable now, but you're not expecting that later.
No, and the roads are not going to get any better than where they are right now to deteriorate through the nighttime.
I know you said that you were out there with Kilgore, in Kilgore, watching TxDOT actually manage those roads and treat them ahead of tonight's freeze. Just tell me a little bit about where they were, what they were doing, and in order to prep going into tonight.
Well, hats off to TxDOT. They've been working the interstate I-20 corridor, and then they've been hitting all the major thoroughfares, 259 north and 31 north between Kilgore and Longview, both treating the roads and scraping the roads. But one of the things we want to caution people about is when they start scraping, you're going to have a large amount of ice accumulation on the improved shoulder. So if you start trying to get a little fast on the roadway, you slip and slide, you get into that improved shoulder. That is nothing but slush right now, and you're going to slide off into the ditch.
Last question really quickly, just, keeping an eye on each other, keeping an eye on your neighbors, things like that, and staying out of danger tonight. What would you advise?
Well, make sure you have an alternate heating source. We've already started seeing a little bit of ice accumulation on the lines. That's going to get worse. We do expect there to be some power outages, so definitely if you've got a neighbor that doesn't have a generator, doesn't have an alternative heating source, take care of your neighbors.
All right, Chief Deputy Craig Harrington, thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and toss it back in the studio. Hey, listen to him. Hey, stay off the roads if you absolutely don't have to. Ayana, Brennan.
Alrighty, Robert De La Garza live in Longview. Be safe out there. We'll check back in with you later. And as we continue to keep a close eye on the conditions outside, Smith County remains under disaster declaration with warnings now upgraded and concerns growing about icy roads and power outages. But in Lindale, we're also seeing neighbors step up to help.
Yeah, and CBS19's Nayeli Carrillo joins us live in Lindale this evening, where a group of Jeep owners are offering free rides to essential workers. Nayeli, what's happening out there?
Brennan, Ayana, we're just off of Interstate 20 here in Smith County, where we're seeing less drivers and slower speeds, and that's because I think a lot of Smith County residents are staying home. As you can see, we just saw a semi-truck pass. But Smith County Judge Neil Franklin did issue that disaster declaration, making it easier for officials to provide help, especially now. Freezing temperatures are expected to stick around for several days, meaning whatever ice may not melt until at least Monday or Tuesday. With that said, a Lindale business known for modifying Jeeps is stepping up to help, especially those who help us. They are offering free rides to essential workers, including first responders and medical staff.
I would rather take our Jeeps and go and get them there than them try to drive. And, because, we live in Texas here and we're not used to driving on this.
2021, we pulled several people out of the ditches around here, just driving the roads and looking around.
Mostly police department, because they don't have four-wheel drive.
Lindale Custom Jeeps owners Aylin and Stephanie Graddick say helping others is just a part of Jeep culture. With ICE expected to continue making travel dangerous, the shop has already scheduled early morning rides for some nurses starting as early as 4 a.m. Just give them a call or text to 903-521-0004 if you need help getting to work. And while they're from Lindale, several other East Texas Jeep clubs are also stepping up. And of course, county officials are urging people to stay home and to report down trees or power lines. Reporting in Lindale, I'm Nayeli Carrillo.
Nayeli, thank you. Be warm out there. And, again, it's amazing to see East Texans helping East Texans.
Yeah, absolutely, especially during these times. We know it's slick out there. It's wet out there. It's going to continue to get cold. So let's go ahead and head over to Joe Robinson, our meteorologist, to let you all know out there what the traffic conditions are looking like across East Texas.
Yeah, we're going to get outside to our CBS19 on-scene unit where we can see just what's going on right now. Again, like we were kind of saying, a lot of just wet roadways at this point. Temperatures are slowly getting below that freezing mark, but the temperatures on the roadways have still yet to catch up with the actual air temperature. So we are going to be watching as that does so into tonight. And so all the standing water that we're seeing right now on top of what we're going to be getting into tonight is going to cause some very treacherous conditions into tomorrow morning. Now let's take a look at your I-20 report as you head out towards Dallas and Shreveport. I'd give yourself maybe about 10 extra minutes or so to get over to Dallas and into Shreveport. Not looking at too terrible of conditions, but again, just wet roadways at this point. and we're going to watch as those areas of standing water eventually freeze over into the overnight, and also give yourself maybe about 10 extra minutes to get over to Denison and also into Lufkin if you're traveling north or south on US 69. 50 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, Tyler to Longview's 40 minutes, 50 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and Tyler to Athens 40 minutes at this point. We're watching this next band of moisture to be moving in with a mix of freezing rain and sleet. I'm going to toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony for the latest on the forecast.
All right, our weather impact alert update here. You know, some folks not looking forward to this second round. For instance, Amy Jackson over in Minden sending me these photos. This is ice that accumulated on the trees. And she says right now they've been without power since about 8 o'clock this morning. On top of that, they can hear the tree branches just snapping and falling, for instance, like that one. And of course, that brings down power lines. So that's a big concern tonight. Hopefully we see more sleet than freezing rain in the overnight hours. We're not 100% sure that's how it's going to play out. I'll talk about that in just a second. Take a look at this drone video from Marcus Wolford over in the Longview area. And you can see just how the sleet covered the ground, covered the roadways. Those bridges and overpasses got slick quickly this morning, and the winds remained kind of breezy at times. Roads were slushy. Most of this has melted again and is now just back to wet. But as Joel pointed out, things are going to probably get a little bit worse here later on tonight. All right, back to the radar we go. Current temperatures, this is what's going to be key because we're going to watch these very carefully. Temperatures are going to be right now 27 in Mineola, 26 at Gilmer, then Tyler at 29 and Longview at 30 degrees. Jacksonville right now at 31. I'll widen this out. Look at this lightning moving into Anderson County, just to the northwest of Crockett. And then south of Dallas, there's another band of lightning that's going to head up in toward Van Zant County. So they're going to see lightning and a thunder sleet. Can you believe that? Thunder sleet. Waxahachie over towards 7 Points up to Terrell. And this is all going to move up here into East Texas as we head through the rest of the evening. It's going to pick up in intensity and continue to work its way north and eastward. All right, I want to show you why we would likely see freezing rain versus sleet tonight, or we have the possibility of both. We often talk about launching weather balloons into the atmosphere, and so the National Weather Service office in Shreveport launched one of these weather balloons at noon today, and attached to that weather balloon is a little instrument that sends back information such as humidity, wind speed, temperature, barometric pressure, those kinds of things. And so as it goes higher up into the atmosphere, it's measuring that temperature. When they launched it this morning, I don't know if you can see this, it was 26 degrees at about 3,000 feet. We go up to about 5,000 feet and the air is suddenly 50 degrees. So anything falling through this layer here that's 50 melts. Then it tries to refreeze back into a sleet pellet. If that doesn't happen, when it hits the surface where the temperature is below freezing, that's when it becomes freezing rain. So in that little sliver, this tiny little sliver tonight, we've got to rely on that liquid refreezing back into at least an ice pellet to keep it as sleet. Otherwise, we could have some freezing rain. So we'll talk about the freezing rain. Meteorologist Joel Robinson here to talk about that and track the rest of the storm as it heads into East Texas tonight. Joel?
Yeah, and is that atmospheric profile that has led to the issuance of ice storm warnings, that shallow area of warm air, or I should say cold air, right at the surface, and then you have this layer of warm air just above the surface that's allowing the rain to fall just as rain, and then right on contact with the surface you get that little bit of glaze of ice, and could be a little bit more than a glaze in some parts of the area, ranging from Canton all the way to Marshall, further to the south. Areas in purple are in an ice storm warning. We could have ice amounts between 1/4 of an inch to maybe about 3/4 of an inch in any of these areas. That's going to go until Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. And then we also have winter storm warnings for the surrounding counties as well. As we take a look here, all the counties in pink here likely going to be featuring kind of a mix of sleet and maybe a little bit of snow, more so than the ice. Will we see a little bit of ice? Sure, but I think the most ice is going to be within that winter or that ice storm warning further to the south, and that's going to go through Sunday at noon. Here's a latest look at Future Skycast. So we were just talking about how we're kind of taking a break right now, but the next round of moisture is going to be moving into the overnight in a little bit more of an intense fashion. This is likely going to be the main area, and then once this is all said and done here into the overnight and into tomorrow morning, we should be a-okay. The next thing we're going to be watching for, however, is those Arctic temperatures into parts of next week. But current temperatures right now down to 27 in Mineola, 23 the current temperature in Mount Pleasant with 24 in Jefferson. You go further to the south, the warmer it kind of gets. It's that air mass that's going to be eventually drifting its way further to the south, and that is what we're going to be seeing. Or that's when we're going to be seeing those icy spots begin to develop as it continues to move further to the south. Down in the low 20s we go for tonight. Only into the middle 20s we'll see for high temperatures into tomorrow. And then extreme cold warnings start up 6 o'clock tomorrow evening and go until Tuesday at noon. We're talking about wind chills as low as the single digits, maybe even single digits below zero. Here's a look at future wind chills as you start out your Monday morning, down to potentially -3 in Sulphur Springs, -1 in Emory, 0 in Canton. Lots of single digits out there as we begin our Monday, so some very cold temperatures there, and the actual air temperatures themselves, of course, are going to be well below freezing, so anything that really ices over is going to continue to linger into parts of Monday and even into parts of Tuesday, with low temperatures themselves down into the low teens. We kind of melt and then we refreeze over and over again as we work our way into the next several days into next week. So again, that's something you have to really kind of keep an eye on as we wear into next week. Icy spots will continue to linger.
Joel, thank you.
And thousands of flights across the country have been canceled because of this winter storm.
And here in East Texas, Tyler Pounds and East Texas Regional are among those airports experiencing flight cancellations. American Airlines flights in and out of Tyler Pounds Regional Airport are all canceled today, and tomorrow the first flight is also canceled. And in Gregg County, all flights today and tomorrow morning are canceled. We'll continue to track flight cancellations as that winter storm continues. And you can also find the latest over at CBS19.tv's weather blog. We have more information on what you could do if your flight has been canceled. As the winter weather continues tonight into tomorrow, several churches have announced they will not hold in-person services. So far, we know that includes Green Acres Baptist Church, Rose Heights, Church of the Pines, and several other church leaders say they decided to do this to make sure everyone is staying home and safe from the icy roads and dangerous travel conditions. Many churches will still have online or stream services instead. If your church hasn't made an announcement just yet, leaders are encouraging members to check social media or church websites before heading out tomorrow morning. And we've been monitoring school closures throughout the day with this winter storm hitting East Texas. Here are some of the lists that have already announced school will not be in for Monday morning due to the winter weather. That includes Longview, Hallsville, Kilgore, and Lupkin ISDs. The ice, sleet, and snow are just one part of the equation this weekend. Life-threatening cold is the other. And warming shelters are open across the region. If you're in need of a place to stay warm, we have a growing list of warming centers over on our website, or just text the word 903-6 or text the word warm rather to 903-600-2600, and we'll send that list straight to your phone. We'll continue bringing you the latest information on what you need to know when this winter storm moves through. Stay with us here at CBS 19 and streaming on our CBS 19 Plus app.
Well, I don't know it, really.
East Texas, it's game day.
And our lineup has never been cuter.
This January, we're teaming up with the SPCA of East Texas for Paw Forward, a month of stories that put rescue pets in the spotlight.
From the underdogs to the rising stars.
We're kicking off a mission to help every dog and cat get their shot at a forever home. And your support fuels the SPCA's life-saving work.
Every dollar helps animals right here in East Texas.
Join us January 30th for Paw Forward Day of Giving.
And help us score a win for animals in our community.
Sponsored by Pelche Subaru.
This is the worst storm that they've seen come through.
Any one of these could begin to rotate.
Definitely some massive power outages going on out here. The whole neighborhood is completely dark.
Some widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Look at that damage seen across Smith County.
Long enough to split a home in half with a tree.
We have 54 lightning strikes now in the last 15 minutes.
It's been a whirlwind kind of weather day.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with CBS 19 and CBS 19 Plus.
Good evening, and thank you for keeping it here with us for the latest on this winter storm. I'm Ayana Aird.
And I'm Brendan Gurley. We are thankful you're choosing to spend time with us as we help you navigate through this storm. Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony and Meteorologist Joel Robinson are back with us here. And I guess I'll throw it to you guys. I mean, we kind of already had the appetizer, and now we're waiting for the main course. And I'll even point this out. There's somebody out of Anderson County who said that I think we got bamboozled about this winter storm severity.
They weren't paying attention.
No.
That's on them. Yeah, we knew it was coming. We talked about this Thursday. There was going to be 2 rounds of this thing.
And it's not over yet either.
No,
it's not over.
Let's throw the control room a curveball here and ask for the on-scene unit, because I think this tells a great story. It's getting dark now, right? So everything that you see kind of shiny and wet. So the temperatures are falling now down to around 29, 30 degrees. And so now that we've lost sun, right, we're going to watch the temperatures fall to about 27 or 28 degrees. So all these wet roadways are going to become icy. And as the precipitation moves back in, that's going to either be in the form of sleet or freezing rain or a mixture of both. That's going to settle on top of those wet roadways that then become icy. And so I think the roadways tonight are going to be really treacherous. So I would stay home if you can. Don't have to go anywhere. On top of that, let's assume that this purple area out here, Dallas to Terrell over towards Sulphur Springs, that's sleet, okay? So that moves in. The pink areas are freezing rain. This moisture is moving up from the south. The main wave of energy is coming in from the west. It's going to join up almost to the perfect storm kind of setup where it just hits us right here in East Lake. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till overnight tonight when this all fills in, and the freezing rain rates could be a ½ inch an hour. So it'll come down for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. So we could either have a ½ inch of freezing rain, 3/4 inch of freezing rain, or 3 inches of sleet. So it's all going to matter on the types of precipitation it has. Right now, we just have to look at radar and kind of judge what we're seeing at this time. A little concerned about that rain moving up from the south, moving over top the colder air at the surface. You can see how the rain moves into Nacogdoches County and then it turns pink. So that becomes freezing rain all the way up to center. And then out here, you've got the purples moving into Canton. In fact, there's lightning. We're seeing thunder sleet tonight. Please, if you report thunder sleet, let us know. It is fascinating to hear thunder sleet. And then I have CBS19 radar just turned up on a really high sort of return rate here because we want to see if we're getting any type of drizzle, and we do see that. We have cloudy skies. It's 31 degrees. We have a north-northeast wind at 10 miles an hour. Ice storm warning continues. We're not out of the woods when it comes to ice storm warnings. But again, the amounts of ice that we're talking about here could get up to a ½ inch of ice. We've already seen some, maybe about a 1/10 of an inch. So we're going to add to that total, and then we're going to add to that total a little bit more also with sleet. So when we add it all up, it could be ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch of ice. We're hoping it's not all freezing rain. The feeling is right now it's probably going to be more so sleet than freezing rain, but we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Winter storm warning back here north of Interstate 20 in the areas in pink. That's where you're likely going to see sleet and snow. The colder air has made it into Dallas, has filtered all the way down to about Interstate 20. So there's not as much warm air aloft in this part of the storm as there is over parts of deep East Texas. So future skycast then starting at 6 p.m. and I'll run this forward here and you'll see how we get to about 10 or 11 and wow, that's what kicks in. Now, a couple of things here. One, the second round comes in, it's heavier. 2, it lasts longer. You're talking about this going all the way till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning before it moves on out. And then the second part of the storm, the cold temperatures. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 19 degrees in Tyler, 29 at Lufkin, 15 at Sulphur Springs. And these temperatures that you see right now, you're talking about temperatures that are going to be 10 degrees colder than they are at the present time. So we're going to see those temperatures drop. So tonight, 7 o'clock, freezing rain moves back in, becomes steadier, heavier through midnight, and the temperature drops to 23. And then overnight, it's just one steady area of freezing rain and sleet with temperatures around 24 degrees. So when folks say you got bamboozled, you didn't pay attention because the second round's coming in, and we talked about why else would they issue a ice storm warning? If you got an ice storm warning, you know that you have a serious situation at hand. And so we want you to pay attention to this. Tomorrow, when it's all said and done, we'll likely see a lot of ice on the trees, power lines. Hopefully we don't lose a lot of power tonight, but it is certainly a possibility. Let's hope it remains mainly sleet. We'll talk more about that and your 7-day forecast when we can thaw. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Alrighty, Brett, thank you. This winter storm is still making its presence felt across East Texas tonight, from those slick roads to dangerous cold.
Officials are urging people to limit travel as roads continue to deteriorate. Now let's get back out to our Robert De La Garza, who is still in Gregg County for us tonight. Now, Robert, you've been out there all day today. Kind of what are some things you're seeing today? We know it's probably really, really cold out there.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, you can say that. I mean, it's pretty cold out here. I mean, I don't think it was as bad as last night so far, but we still have more to come. I mean, overall, this morning was very cold. Right now, the rain has stopped. Some of that ice rain has stopped. We've gotten a break from it. It kind of passed by throughout the afternoon. Road conditions, you can see people driving down right now. Starting to pick up speed a little bit more. I mean, when we were driving throughout downtown here earlier and throughout the city of Longview, people were taking it really slow. Even our vehicle kind of started getting off course there a little bit with some of those slushy conditions. But overall, right now, we did speak with Chief Deputy Craig Harrington with the Gregg County Sheriff's Office, and he said that right now, this is probably the best that these road conditions are going to get. But as that rain starts to come over, more freezing rain, more slush, those roads are just going to start freezing up more, and it's going to be more dangerous to get out this evening. So of course, always urging everyone, hey, if you can get out right now, this is probably the time to do so. But also, once this freeze starts coming in overnight, it's going to be a lot more difficult to travel, especially on those major freeways, I-20, as well as overpasses, under bridges, so on. We do know that streets in downtown Longview have closed so far. At least one street, High Street in downtown, has closed. That's still closed at this time. But at this point, if there's anything else, I would say listen to chief deputies, listen to your forecasters, and don't leave at this point from now on, because those temperatures are just going to roll in and those streets are going to keep freezing over overnight. Brendan, Ayana.
Alrighty, Robert, thank you. And as we continue to keep a close eye on road conditions, Smith County remains under a disaster declaration with warnings upgraded and concerns growing about icy roads and possible power outages. But in Lindale, we're also seeing those neighbors helping neighbors.
CBS 19's Nayeli Carrillo joins us live in Lindale this evening, where a group of Jeep owners are offering free rides to people who need to get to work. Nayeli, how's it going out there?
Brennan, Ayana, we're here off of Interstate 20 this is the on-ramp onto Interstate 20, and we're seeing less drivers and as well like slower speeds, especially because a lot of people are staying home, and that disaster declaration that County Judge Neil Franklin issued is going to allow for emergency officials to better help and serve the community, because we are seeing an accumulation ice, and we're seeing some slick spots as well. We actually almost, whenever we were getting over here, but these freezing temperatures are expected to linger for several days, meaning any ice on the roads may not melt until at least Monday or Tuesday. Despite that, some businesses remain open. One of them, a Lindale shop known for modifying Jeeps, is stepping up to help, now offering free rides to anyone who needs to get to work, including first responders and medical staff.
I would rather take our Jeeps and go and get them there than them try to drive. And, because, we live in Texas here and we're not used to driving on this.
2021, we pulled several people out of the ditches around here, just driving the roads and looking around.
Mostly police department, because they don't have four-wheel drive.
The owners say helping others is simply part of Jeep culture. With icy conditions expected to continue, the shop has already scheduled early morning pickups, some as early as 4 a.m. Anyone who needs help getting to work can call or text the number 903-521-0004. And while this group is based in Lindale, several other East Texas Jeep clubs are also stepping up to help their communities. And officials are urging people not to go on these roads and to report any downed trees and power lines. Reporting in Lindale, I'm Nayeli Carrillo.
All right, thank you, Nayeli. It's definitely wonderful to see how East Texans are stepping up and helping each other during those cold temperatures out there. And as the winter storm is continuing to sweep across East Texas, ice is already taking a toll.
And power lines and trees are coming down, and thousands of people are now in the dark. And in Cherokee County alone, more than 4,000 outages have been reported so far. And that's where we find our Jamie Hazard. And Jamie, you talked to Cherokee County Sheriff Brent Dixon about what they're seeing there. What else are you learning tonight?
right. Many are without power tonight in the area. We are standing at Highway 69 Mission here in Jacksonville, and we met with a few people that have actually lost their power, and they're kind of coming here for a warm meal and a warm place to stay. It is still very cold out there and gloomy, and there's ice on the trees, and those trees are falling outside too. So we're lucky enough to be standing in the warmth right now, and if you know anyone that needs to come and grab a warm meal or a snack, then this is a great place to do so. They're going to be open as long as those temperatures are below freezing, and we'll take you right inside here where many people are being housed. They still have lots of room for these people to come and just can grab hand warmers, gloves, and get out of the cold, because it is very, very chilly out there, and we want to make sure that all those patrons are staying safe. There's volunteers here, there's meals, so it's a great place for people to come, and we've talked to a few people, and this is kind of the best shelter to come to this evening, and it will be open all night and for the next few days. So if you know anyone, your neighbor, if you lose power, you are advised to come here. So we'll bring it back to you in the studio.
Alrighty, Jamie Hazard live in Jacksonville. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful that Jacksonville is doing that, and Cherokee County is kind of opening up the doors for people because it is very cold outside.
Well, we're seeing people, again, opening up their doors for these people who have nowhere else to turn, and again, neighbors helping neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely.
True example of East Texans helping East Texans.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of that today, especially as continue to drop into the overnight hours. So right now, let's get a check with traffic conditions with meteorologist Joel Robinson.
Yeah, we love people helping other people, especially in this kind of weather. And the traffic so far not looking too terrible. It's just we're kind of on the wet side of things right now. Temperatures are still falling below freezing, and they will continue to do so into tonight. And whatever standing water that's on the road right now, which you can kind of see there on the roadways, you can kind of see that shininess. That's all water, but that is eventually going to shift into ice into the overnight. And then on top of that, we are going to get an extra dose of some freezing rain and sleet. All right, let's take again over to our I-20 report. Things aren't looking too bad. I'd give yourself right around about a 10 extra minute commute there over to Dallas and over to Shreveport, just for safety's sake there. And also US 69, give yourself maybe about 10 extra minutes to get up to Denison and over to Lufkin. Otherwise, not looking too bad. No icy spots yet, at least widespread icy spots on the main roadways. But as you enter over, say, bridges and overpasses, definitely want to make sure you are being careful there. We have 50 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview, 50 minutes so far from Tyler to Palestine, and Tyler to Athens is up to 40 minutes at this point. And we're going to watch as this extra area of moisture moves in. This is going to be our main show as we head into the overnight. So I'm going to toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony for the latest on the forecast.
All right, weather impact alert update. Here's a scene we do not want to see, and this is earlier today. Minden, Texas. They've been without power since 8 a.m. according to Amy Jackson up there. You can see the way the freezing rain just stuck to the pines and the way it weights it down. We've also seen this in parts of Cherokee and Rusk County, and it's caused those power outages there. But when that ice gets on the trees, it causes them to sag. If they break, they can hit power lines, and then it can take the power out. So this is a scene we don't want to see. You can see the trees down on the ground, just kind of nature's pruning, but not the type of pruning that we'd like to see here. But it does make for a pretty picture. There's a lot of great, colorful glaze of ice on there, but it's not at all by any means what we want to see. And the reason that we're going to see it here tonight, potentially, a couple of reasons. Thunder sleet out at Terrell, which could be thunder freezing rain. That's also a possibility tonight. The moisture moving from the south to the north is now starting to overrun where the air or surface temperatures are at about 26 to 29 to 30 degrees. So as that continues, and you get a great example here, good feel for it. When you look to the south around Lufkin and Crockett, this rain moves up and then runs into that colder air. Instead of it being rain, it suddenly changes over to the pink, changes over to freezing rain. Meantime, around Waxahachie, Corsicana, 7 points. Look at Terrell. That's thunder sleet Canton. And over here toward Longview and Jefferson, we're watching some heavier bands starting. This is what I'm talking about. Lufkin to Nacogdoches, the green suddenly converts to pink, or the pink changes to the purple. That's where we're seeing the changeover or the mix of freezing rain and sleet, and that's going to continue. And it's all because we launched weather balloons into the atmosphere earlier today, and the air if you were to go, let's say, 4,000 feet off the surface, it's 50 degrees up there while it's 26 or 27 degrees down here on the surface. So what was frozen falls into that warmer layer and it melts, and then it tries to refreeze in just a few thousand feet. And so sometimes it refreezes back into the sleet pellet, sometimes it doesn't. It hits the street as a raindrop. But when the surface temperature is at freezing or below and it freezes on contact, that's freezing rain. The difference, sleet falls as an ice pellet and it stings when it hits you. Freezing rain falls as rain and freezes on contact, and it clings to power lines and to tree limbs. So we certainly do not want freezing rain tonight, or a lot of it. I don't think we'll be able to avoid it, but we don't want a lot of freezing rain. We want to see as much sleet as possible here. It will make travel treacherous, but at least it won't knock out as much power as freezing rain will. Let's go over to Joel for the rest of the forecast.
Yeah, and it's with that atmospheric profile all the way through that we are going to be seeing that chance for a little bit of freezing rain right at the surface, right at freezing or just below that at the surface is going to leave us the possibility for rain to eventually just freeze on contact, and that's where your ice is going to be coming into play here. So ice storm warnings ranging from Canton all the way to Marshall, along and south of I-20, also including areas like Tyler and Longview. And again, areas to the south, that's going to go until Sunday, tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. And then for the rest of us here, we do have winter storm warnings. I expect more of a mixture of sleet and also snow, more so than freezing rain, although that could mix in as well. But the most freezing rain is going to be likely along and south of the I-20 corridor, and that's going to go until Sunday at 12 noon. So here's a look at current conditions right now. Again, we're starting to see a little bit of, just some shininess here, and that's from the already pre-existing standing water that's in place, and then you have the sleet accumulation over the grassy areas as well. But you can see the temperatures well below freezing at this point, down to 23 degrees in Mount Pleasant, 24 in Jefferson and Marshall, 27 in Mineola. You go further to the south where it gets a little bit warmer, right at 31 degrees in Nacogdoches, 34 in Lufkin. And we're going to watch as this colder air mass continues to move to the south, and that is where the temperatures are going to be below freezing, supporting that area of freezing rain. So again, we have that little lull there, but our next chance for it to really start to pick up will not occur until later parts of tonight. This is a snapshot of midnight tonight, and this is going to be our main wave. So by the time we get to around the early hours of Sunday and even into the hours after that, we're going to see as it kind of continues to move off to the east, and we'll be just left with some very cold temperatures for next week. Extreme cold warnings in effect for all of East Texas starting tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock and going until noon on Tuesday. We're talking about temperatures as low as the low teens, maybe even upper single digits, but then you factor in the wind. That's going to be a whole different story with future wind chills as low as the -3 mark, -1 for Emory. You got 1 degree possible for a wind chill in Mineola and Gilmer, down to 0 in Canton. A lot of single digits all across the area. It is going to be cold no matter how you slice it. Hence why we do have that extreme cold warning in effect until Tuesday at noon. So as a result here, we do have a weather impact alert that goes all the way until the first half of Tuesday. Whatever happens, whatever freezes is going to eventually linger into parts of next week, unfreeze, then refreeze as temperatures go above freezing during the day and then go below freezing during the night. So I do expect those icy conditions to kind of linger into parts of next week until we finally get above freezing for Friday.
All right, thanks, Joel. And as we mentioned earlier, the rain, ice, and wind are impacting power across the region. So we wanted to break down the latest numbers in your area. So as you can take a look here, I have an outage map. So we're going to go right over here into East Texas area. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to start right over here, which is Cherokee County. So right now, let's go back to it. Zoom in here. Here we go. So this right here, as you can see, the areas highlighted are the outages we now have across our area in East Texas. So we're going to zoom in here and take a look at those numbers for you. So right here in Cherokee County right now, we have 4,800 customers right now that are without power, and that means that's 14% of the county that currently does not have power. And as you can see, this is a list of the different utility companies that represent the county. As far as Encore has the most outages right now. Let's take a look at Nacogdoches County. Nacogdoches County has about 1,000. That's about 5% of the county. And let's take a look in Panola County. Panola County is seeing about 5,000 outages in the county. So as you can see, the area highlighted here, most of the outages we're seeing is in East Texas, but CBS19 will keep an eye on these numbers throughout the night so you can stay up to date on what's going on across East Texas. Brendan.
All righty, Ayanna, thank you. And that's right, Ayanna, and we've been talking about SWEPCO ramping up its response ahead of this weekend's winter storm. We're joined by Mark Robinson, Texas External Affairs Manager for SWEPCO. Mark, thanks for being here, and I want to get right into this. I know you guys are super busy, so talk about what SWEPCO is doing right now.
Right. So right now in Texas, SWEPCO territory, we've got about 6,000 customers still out. And boy, it's been a day. You know, it started out a little bit wet, then we got the ice and the mush. And we've restored quite a few power outages for our customers, but they seem to be followed up by new power outages. For example, Henderson, we just restored 700 customers there within the last 30 minutes. They should be extremely excited about that. But then we dropped 198 in the Longview area, and we've got crews headed out there. That pretty much sums up our day today.
This power tonight, what should they do first?
So for those that do not have power right now, we're hoping to get those restored, but there will be some customers that do not have power by the end of the night. And so please make sure that you're prepared, you have a plan to be warm overnight. Our crews will continue to work some through the night and then again in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning to restore that power.
And Mark, for how should those customers report those outages, and what's the fastest way to do that?
Fastest way is through our app. You can also call us 1-888-216-3523. But the easiest way is download that SWEPCO app. Make sure that you click that you have a power outage, and that way we know you're out. And we can also communicate with you when your power's back on.
And God forbid the lights go out or the power gets cut. What do people need to remember during a storm like this?
Well, we're looking at round 2, right? So to your point, just because you have your power now, round 2 is coming. There's more precipitation. There's more. We don't know if it's going to be wet, snow, sleet. And so if your power goes off, same thing. Please let us know that it's out. Know that we're working around the clock and allow us to communicate back and forth with you. But also, please have a plan for if your power does not come back on, because some nights it may not, even though we're working through the night. We're just trying to get as many customers on as we can tonight.
And the big question tonight, Mark, is obviously the power grid and what's going to happen. And we know, or sounds like there's a plan in place. Now, the lines are a whole different story. How do you things to play out in the next 24 to 48 hours?
The next 24 hours and really the next 12 hours are going to tell us a whole lot about what tomorrow looks like. So at 7 o'clock, we see that low pressure system coming in. We have already seen some ice accumulation up to about 1/4 inch more towards the Shreveport area. But as those lines continue to accumulate ice, that's where that weight comes from, as well as from the trees around them as those accumulate ice. And so that's what we're watching, ice accumulation. By 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, we should really know what Sunday and Monday look like as far as outages.
And Mark, just my final question for you. People watching us right now, what is the biggest message you want to get across?
Safety is always our #1 message. Please be safe. If you can stay home, specifically if you have electricity, please stay home. Stay off the roads. It keeps our law enforcement, first responders, and our utility workers safe. If you cannot stay home, please be careful out on the roads. I've been driving them all day. They're slushy, slippery, and tendency is that you could possibly get in a wreck. So please stay safe and allow us to keep our people safe as well.
And Mark, on behalf of CBS19 and everyone in East Texas, I just want to say thank you to the men and women who are out there keeping those lights on for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. This winter storm isn't just impacting East Texas. We're also tracking conditions across the state.
Here's what we're seeing in different regions. Take a look at this video at the DFW airport. Crews have been out there all afternoon, and we will keep working to keep the runways of ice, sleet, or snow clear. If you have a flight or need to pick someone up, airport officials tell us to keep checking for new updates on their app.
And out in Houston, TxDOT crews could be seen spraying brine solution on major freeways. They actually started this on Thursday to prepare the roads and Texans before they hit the roads this weekend.
And out in Central Texas, crews saw flooding overnight in Kerrville, and slick streets may have played a major role in a major crash on I-35 near New Braunfels.
And as freezing temperatures and icy conditions grip East Texas, some of our most vulnerable neighbors are feeling it the hardest.
And this morning, a local nonprofit stepped up in a big way, serving dozens of people experiencing homelessness with hot food, cold weather gear, and a reminder they're not forgotten.
And joining us now is Dean Parks, a board member with Hunger for Love, who was out there this morning helping distribute those supplies. And Dean, thank you so much for being with us. Tell us what you saw out there today and why the need is especially urgent right now.
It's going through some harsh weather. They're feeling it. They're intense. They're in the woods. They're unfortunate, and a lot of times they're unforgotten. And that's what we try to do. We try to give them a little hope, bring the love of Jesus to them. We had donuts and coffee and sack lunches this morning. It was brought to us from Crossband Cowboy Church. I put on KVNE, listened to some worship music. It was just, I put a lot of smiles on their faces. We had McDonald's cards where they could go in a McDonald's and get a hot meal, and it was just a good time. Had about 10 volunteers that got on the roads with me, and they're good people. That's our friends. That's our extended family, and we'll do anything for them. We do this every Saturday. We serve about 144 meals. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it today, but we did what we could.
Oh, I love that. And Dean, how much harder does weather like this make life for someone living outside?
And you got to realize they don't have a house or hot water or the heat so we bring the blankets, we bring the sleeping bags, we bring the gloves, the hats, a lot of that stuff you can see on our Facebook page. You can, if you wanted to look into it, that was us this morning. A lot of smiling faces. They were really, really happy with the McDonald's where they can get a hot meal, and they just brought joy to all of our hearts.
And, Dean, I want to bring up something else, too. A lot of people were, getting outdoors, getting those last-minute supplies for this winter weather. For people watching this at home, why should those people care about what you guys are doing and helping the unhoused community?
Because they're part of our community, and that's what we're taught to do. The love of Jesus, it doesn't matter. We got to share it and bring it to everyone. That one lamb out of 100, you got to bring the whole family in and give that worship and that word and prayer, that hope. If they don't have that hope, they don't have anything.
And it certainly takes a village. We all know that. And you handed out a lot of cold weather gear today. What are some of the most critical items that you guys need in the next few days?
Right now, we're because of the weather is going to tear up all their tents. It's going to tear up their sleeping bags. They're going to get wet. We're looking at thermals. We're looking at gloves and hats, socks. That's the biggest thing. And you can find all that stuff on our Facebook page.
Yeah, and for everyone who's watching at home, what are different ways they can help?
Also on our Facebook page, it shows that you can do Venmo, you can do PayPal. You can do Cash App. We got the Amazon wish list to help people. Dog food, we help the pets. We do dog food, cat food. We help everyone we can. We give everything we got.
Alrighty, Dean Parks with Hunger for Love. And again, Dean, on behalf of everyone here at CBS19, the entire East Texas community, thank you for all that you do.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Alert update here. We're going to throw radar into motion. I want to show you how it's all filling back in here as we head through the evening hours. Right on time, right on schedule. We thought after 7 o'clock we'd start to see this precipitation fill back in, and indeed that is happening. I want to point out this one area here because we have freezing rain moving back into the Tyler area, and that freezing rain should return right at about 6:44. So roughly in about 40 minutes, maybe even quicker than that, as it seems like it's moving to the northeast about 25 miles an hour. First moving into White House here in about 20 minutes, ARP around 6:30, then New Chapel Hill and Tyler Pounds. Otherwise, on our 7-day forecast, we got this heavy round tonight, ending tomorrow with cloudy skies, cold temperatures, and our weather impact alert continues Monday and Tuesday. Monday morning, because of overnight lows near records at down to 12 and feels like temperatures below 0 in some parts of East Texas. Then we'll see some melting Monday afternoon, but then Tuesday morning, be very careful because you could see more ice refreezing across the area Tuesday morning.
All right, and you heard that, a lot of freeze, a lot of coldness out there. So as the winter weather continues tonight into tomorrow, several churches have announced they will not hold in-person services tomorrow. So far, we know that includes Green Acres Baptist Church, Rose Heights, Church of the Pines, and several other churches. Now, church leaders say they decided to do this to make sure everyone is staying home and safe from the icy roads and dangerous travel conditions. Many churches will still have online services or stream services instead. So if your church hasn't made the announcement yet, leaders are encouraging members to check social media or church websites before heading out tomorrow morning.
And we know families with children in school are probably already wondering if there will be cancellations next week. That's something we're keeping a close eye on. Some school districts have already canceled school for Monday, including Longview, Hallsville, Kilgore, Alto, Oberton, and Nacogdoches ISDs. We're checking to see if any districts in our area plan to cancel school on Monday. When we hear from them, we'll update you both on air and online.
And it's only going to get colder tonight until tomorrow, so please make sure you're staying warm. If you need a warm place to go, we have a growing list of warming shelters on our website, or you can text WARM to 903-600-2600, and we'll send that list straight to your phone.
And we'll continue bringing you the latest information on what you need to know when this winter storm moves through. Stay with us here at CBS 19 and streaming on our CBS 19 Plus app.
All right, well, thank you all for staying with us here for CBS 19 News at 6 on streaming on CBS 19 Plus. You can catch us right back here at 10 p.m.